Yes.
Recording in progress.
So very good afternoon to everyone, and thanks for joining for this afternoon session in the session 11. This is likely to be the last technical session for this 3 days training. Okay, so we have been learning about how we need to technically keep ourselves safe with respect to several aspects. We have learned like what are the psychological, physical issues that can happen and how do we take care. We also learned about how social and ethical aspects have to be taken. There is one more area which we need to be aware is we need to also know what legal options are available, legally what can be done, what legal awareness should be there with respect to cyber safety. We are not going to talk about general legal parts, but very specifically, we are only going to talk about the legal aspects of, am I audible clearly? We are going to understand about what legal provisions are there, what legal aspects are related to cyber safety. So we have with us Ms. Khushbu Jain, who is a lawyer in the Supreme Court, and she is also contributing in making people aware of all the laws and legal related things which is related to cyber safety. And welcome, ma'am, for this session. And I hand over the session to you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Over to you, ma'am. Can I request the team to shift the screen? Yes. Ma'am, you can take over. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for...
And remove the banner so that ma'am can share the screen. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to address the audience in whose hands the entire country's future is dependent upon. It's one of the privilege to be doing this. Am I now to start with? So I'm going to cover. This topic is purely cybercrime awareness. So when you talk about cybercrime awareness, I want to start with the kind of crimes that happen, what are the laws that are there for you, the kind of cyber threats that are there. With that, what is the procedure of filing it, how to safeguard yourself when it comes to you yourself, when it comes to institute, when it comes to even the students. And at the same time, how to safeguard yourself has happened despite the safeguard part of it. How do you report? What do you report? How do you tackle it? And with that comes the part of privacy, because we do talk about data protection or data privacy as one of the important elements. And with that, we will do the closure. If you have some queries or anything, we can have a last minute where you can have as many questions as possible. You can ask me anything when it comes to cyber related world. It can be law, it can be reporting, it can be any kind of use cases or a crime. Feel free to ask those questions and I can answer or cater to any of those things. Now to start with this, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Somebody has to do a heads up or somebody has to, yeah, perfect. All right. So I'm starting with cybercrime awareness. See, first of all, we need to understand that why cybercrime or the education about the cybercrime is an important matter. It is important matter because today when you talk about cybercrime, it is attached that it can have an impact in your life when it comes to any kind of financial losses, your finances, when it comes to your reputation, when it comes to your interpersonal life, when it comes to even your privacy, when it comes to security of yourself or your family or people that you are around with or your institute. These are the areas where cybercrime can instantly impact and the damage can be so severe that even if you get a solution, it is not a solution that can have it. The damage is already caused to you. That's where I would say that the education or the understanding of the cybercrime and things around that is something which is paramount, irrespective of whichever, areas that you're teaching into, and you feel, oh, IT or cyber is not my issue. It's not my core subject. Today, you cannot be alien. Why? Number one, I have put it across that it can have institutional reputation, it can have personal reputation loss, and that's where it's very important. And if you see, educational institutions have become one of the primary targets when it comes to social engineering or when it comes to phishing attacks. Why? It becomes a breeding ground. We have got children, we have got people utilizing technology, utilizing Zoom calls or any other calls for that matter, and we have seen how things are happening. Kids are one of the primary targets when it comes to social engineering, when it comes to grooming, when it comes to other areas. People have realized, or criminals have realized, that people might have best of the security measures in their institute, but their kids might use their laptop or their phone, and with that, they can enter into a system of an institute or an organization via their children. That's where they try to get into those gaming platforms or for that matter social media platforms, the different direct messaging apps that kids utilize it. So it becomes a easy play for them to bait them and enter into security, which is practically difficult to enter into. That's where it's very important for you to understand. And apart from, when I said reputational loss, it has a psychological impact or it can impact somebody in an emotional and a mental
So
trauma.
once again, welcome for
That even after getting a solution, let's say you file a case and you get it, one cannot come
You
out
can,
of it. So it has to be
only then
catered in a
before
very right
students for
manner,
studying,
in a
so
very
you can
right,
approval as
at a very right and an
study,
appropriate time.
ensure you can use the parental control to
With that
ensure
comes the
which are
next,
the words
that
that
what are
have
the
to be
types of
blocked out. So
cybercrime.
gaming, block out gaming, block out
Again, there are
pornography, block
categories,
out movies,
but I
so
would
that
say when you talk about
children can
types of
use their
cybercrime,
best
it can be
study, especially
national,
when online
where they
classes go
hurt
on.
national security when it comes to safety and security of your
If
own
there
nation,
is a lot
sovereignty
of,
of your nation.
weak
They don't have to
just
practically come at your
joining in a
borders.
minute.
One attack or one system failure, let's say airport or
Ma'am,
trains, can
have
create
you
an
guys
havoc.
as a
Your
co-host, you
financial
will be able to
platform, one
unmute
havoc, and it
yourself.
can create a problem.
Or
And
trains
that's where comes the next platform, one havoc, and that's where comes the next, that apart from that, then comes the next, which is your individual impact. Now, what do you mean by individual impact? That's where comes the next, that apart from again, as I said, it can lead to financial loss. So many cyber crimes that we talk about, right from digital arrest to romance scam, to trading scam, to business email compromises, to anything which can have a financial loss, or it can have an anxiety put it across. I have seen in digital arrest that people have got such a mental disorder after that they get into some other world altogether that they cannot believe or trust anybody. So right from financial to mental health to anxiety to emotional distress, not just one person who's been there, but the whole family which is dependent around it, or educational institution which is part of it. So it's an individual impact, but at the same time it has an impact which is much larger. With this comes the aspect that national, individual, then comes the organizational aspect. Any of your institutes, one data breach here and there, they want to breach into it, they can have ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks are what? That means that let's say today the entire database of your organization is stolen, right from payments to the history of bank account and everything, and that has been frozen. Now the organization, your institute cannot practically understand that who are the employees, the teachers in the organization or the others, and who has to pay what salary. That is also blocked. So there is no information available. So it can create a havoc, it can create a distress. With that, they say these ransomware attacks that you pay us this much money and we will unlock your system, or we will give you access back to your system. Or we will decrypt your material which you can't practically see, because the one which is in the writing becomes XYZ, that one is unreadable. So they say that if you want to get back the access, we're gonna ask for a ransom. That means you pay us the money and we'll do it. The next they have become very smart. Now they understand that institutes usually keep two copies, and they also keep one physical copy because of this ransomware attacks which were very prominent in the whole world. But they have become very smart that privacy laws are very important. So now they say that you give us this, or we will release your data in the darknet and in the open. You will be breached, and the penalty that you will be looking out will be way too high, and also there will be a reputation loss. So these are the three overview or a type of cybercrime. Now in this, there can be 20 different or maybe 1,000 different kinds of varieties of crime, as I'm saying. When it comes to individual impact, as I said, trading scam, romance scam, you think of it or you talk about it, digital arrest, tourism related scams that are happening, phishing attack, wishing attacks. The story is sextortion. The story is not ending only. Every day something new is coming up and they continue about it. Uh, Going from this, now comes next is digital frauds and social engineering. Now, so much of awareness. We are doing also an awareness session today. Despite so much of awareness, why this is happening is the question that comes in our mind. Why? Because these criminals are very smart. They know how to orchestrate the whole crime against you. How? They will have information about you. It has been said that we were always in that aspect that we also want to be visible online. Any new challenge coming up, we want to be visible. We want to check in. We want to check out. We want to post the picture who we are with, where are we eating with, who friends are we eating, and what's happening. With all these things, criminals get a lot of information directly or indirectly where you have not shared, but somewhere the information has been leaked. With that, they do a lot of amazing social engineering. What do you mean by social engineering? That they will orchestrate a crime in a manner that it will make you believe them and trust. Like, I'll give you some examples over here. I can see Ranjit ji over here and I can see Mamta ji over here. Now, let's say Mamta ji usually loves reading books. And usually she buys a lot of books online. She has a lot of purchases. There are a lot of pictures of libraries and, she has that thing. So let's say those people will give a better offer for any kind of those digital libraries, better offer. And offer would be like some discounts or some better deals or some, free months. So the aspect of Mamta ji trying to buy that purchase would be much faster than that is being sold to Ranjit ji, who has, let's say, no interest in books, but has more interest in, let's say, traveling. Right? And the same thing if I send something for the traveling and I say that, oh, Taj has got this much offer and the flights have got 20% off. And Taj voucher where you get 2 nights. If you book 2 nights, you'll get another 1 night free. So because Ranjit ji travels so much, he understands that how much is the money involved into it and how it goes about it is where he will feel and he will instantly calculate that, okay, 21,000 rupees is what I'm saving if I get this deal. And same as with Mamta ji, that she will instantly calculate that this is amazing because it's giving me access to these many libraries, books which are worldwide. And also I'm getting some magazines as a complimentary part of it. And this is one of the best things. So it would be so easy for you to believe into it and click because you can instantly do it. At the same time, let's say I don't read much books or I don't have much interest into this, neither traveling. Any of these two things come to me also, I'm like, okay, maybe or maybe not, whether I want to or not want to do it. So now these people have done some background check on you and understand your psychology. That's where the social engineering comes in place. Now, apart from this, what they do is trend. Trend says, let's say that Barbie movie, which was so famous worldwide, criminals understood and they realized that it's a rage that people want to watch that movie. And it was after pandemic, one of the largest hit worldwide. There were so many movie tickets which were being sold, so many offers, one-on-one, this, that, on Barbie, that it became one of the highest one-day cybercrime social engineering on the international platform. Then people understand, these criminals understand that, okay, the rave can be during pandemic. They said that people after that wanted to do a lot of charity because, you're at home, something is happening here, something is happening there. You want to help out. You want to give some masses, donate some masses. So they created that because they understood that that's the trend. Then they also realized that there is a lot of fear among people. Fear among people as in they feel ki, oh, people are very scared. They want to know more information. What are the cures in Ayurveda, in Unani, or any other cure? They want to know that, oh, US people are having some kind of cure so that I can get that information and, implement that to myself and my family and also share it with my dear and near friends. That fear made us look into a lot of information and try anything and everything during that entire COVID time period. Criminals realized, ki boss, it's very nice and easy bait. More than 4,000 websites, URLs were registered in first 3 months of COVID, in and around Corona, COVID and all that, which were later banned by the agency that you cannot register it because they tried to create that and replicate it and people wanted to check and they believed into it. Also, they started putting across those medicines and injections which were very, in the need, so that entire fear started happening that the medicines are less or oxygen cylinders are less and it's always good to have one oxygen cylinder in the house. And there were so many who sold so many things, and they didn't ever get those things. They never got the oxygen cylinder, they never got the actual medicine, they never got anything, and people got duped. So criminals don't see anything, but they see that there can lure people, where they can stride on somebody's fear, and how they can encash the opportunity. And that's where they mix all these things. And with this, if they have more information about you, is Sone pe Suhaga. With that information, they can make you trust. I'll give one more example over here. We have got now, Rajshekhar ji and we have got Vandana ji over here. These are the screen names I can see. Apologies if I'm not using anybody else's name. Let's say, Vandana ji, I give you a call today and I say that I'm calling from, you can switch on your mic and we can have a discussion. So let's say, Vandana ji, I give you a call today, and same with Rajshekhar ji, that I'm calling from so-and-so bank of yours. And you have a bank account. You can't hear me? You can't? Okay, no problem. No problem. So just nod. Okay. So let's say I give you a call today and I said that I'm calling from XYZ Bank. And we have got an amazing offer for you. Let's say that is not your bank account. Will you trust? But let's say that is your bank account. Will you have a little trust? Little? Okay, I say that I'm calling from, let's say you live in Defense Colony, and I say that I'm calling from your Defense Colony branch, and that is actually your branch. And I say, ma'am, I'm calling from Defense Colony branch of this bank of yours, and because you have been a very valued customer of yours, there is an offer that has come for you, and we would just want to take 1 minute. Will you have? Okay, okay, 10% you will not trust, but let's say 20% you will not trust, but 80% still. You will go there. Let's say you don't live in Delhi, you live in Bombay, but your branch is home branch there and you don't do it. Let's create a scenario. Now, I would say that, ma'am, because your last purchase of your credit card bill has been 20,490 rupees. Before that was also somewhere around 31,000, and before that was also somewhere around 28,000. So because of this consistent high purchase of yours, we have got a very important, valuable customer, 3 people only, that we are providing this offer, and it is also for today. And the offer is that you have, you will get an upgraded vouchers and a credit card, and that upgraded credit card will have extra miles. So every purchase that you do, every purchase where you swap your card, you will get these many points which you can utilize it. At the same time, as a complimentary voucher, we are giving you 2 nights at this place, and we are also giving you 2 complimentary, let's say 5,000 and 5,000 of a voucher, which you can redeem at let's say Zara or H&M. Now let's say, Vandana ji, you do shop at Zara and you do shop at H&M, and you do love your purchases usually are swiping at the places, POS, not much on the anything else. Will you be like, okay, it's a good offer, instantly 20,000 of an offer, instantly this, instantly that. Okay, let's say still you don't believe, because so many cyber crimes happening, people call you up, and what do you do about it? You say, but then, and I'm Khushbu from your Defense Colony branch. So you say that, why am I getting, let me think about this. And you inquire a little more. And then you hang up my phone. And then you go on a Google search and you search a Defense Colony number, branch number, landline number, or whatever phone number that is coming from your end. And that phone number you make a call. And you say, can I connect to Khushbu Jain? And I take the phone and I say, I'm so sorry, ma'am, the phone got disconnected. I was about to give you a call back. Now do you trust that I'm calling from your XYZ bank, from your Defense Colony branch? Still no?
And also from the
I'm telling you, 80% of the people will trust over here.
Private schools,
Now,
Sainik School,
let's say I say, ma'am, it's for 3 people only. It's already 4:30. 5 o'clock the branch gets over. Either you come and visit our branch and get this thing done, or else I'll help you out doing it, and gives you a little bit more of a bait, that only because this is how it is. Maybe I'm gonna add one more this thing for you, or some more offer, or some more bait. Okay, your chat. You have to do something
in a minute.
I prefer to visit branch. Perfectly fine. But I'm saying, let's say it's 4:30.
So
You're not
I
in your
just would
city,
like to
or you're
inform
not in this, or
the
you're in office,
states who are
and you prefer, but they would be,
participating in this
trust me
particular
on that part,
program.
till the
We
level
have
that I'm bringing you,
participants from
they will
Andaman
have
and
more
Nicobar,
about it. So
Andhra
people will,
Pradesh,
at least 20%
Assam,
people, let's say, will trust
Karnataka,
and will agree. Now
Lakshadweep,
is where the
Manipur,
game plays, at the moment you have trusted the
Mizoram,
person, it continues, and now he will tell you do this, and the
Right.
thing's gone. How much they have an information? They have an
So I just
information about you having a bank account number. Agar wo bank account, I would have said, "Ki I'm calling from SBI and you have an HDFC," then obviously you will not continue. So I had an information that you have an HDFC. Then I had an information you're in defense colony, right? Then I had an information that your last 3 credit card bills are these. Then I had an information that you like shopping and you like doing this. Absolutely, yeah. Abundant information. This information makes you trust me. And the moment you trust is where you are baited in its crime. That's the entire social engineering game plan. That's what digital arrest is all about. Everybody still asks me, and I am also still very baffled, ki how are people so foolish to get into a digital arrest, and how can they themselves be there? Police has to literally have the jail, put in those people so that kaidi bhag na jaye. And yahan pe those criminals have to do nothing. They are making you stay in front of screen for 12 hours, for 7 hours, for 7 days, for 44 days. I have somebody who was there for almost 91 days. And people are themselves transferring the money and they are arresting themselves. I was like, how is that possible? That again starts with that fear strikes in when these criminals are very smart. They practically have information and they use technology along with information to dupe you. Like for example, they will give you a FIR copy once they call you and they say आपका FIR में नाम आया है and you have money laundering. There is an account that is being utilized of yours. When they share the FIR copy, with that FIR copy, there is a third page where your bank account number and these things are written over there. You will be like, oh my God, in this transaction, my number is there. Now that FIR is against some XYZ person who actually, if you Google, is the one who is there in money laundering case. But you don't have access to FIR, but that FIR is a AI generated or technologically manipulated synthetic content FIR that they're sharing and stamps and everything. And it continues from there. The moment that fear strikes in and that trust comes in, then they do some psychological play with you and that you're completely into it. Also, they add to a level where they say that yellow door of yours, our police is right outside that if you try to move out. Practically, they must be sitting in Bhatinda or, in South Africa, but they had just information key there is a yellow door of yours. You don't want to step out. They have that information where they don't even know this. So I'm just saying that more the information so easy that despite so much of an awareness every day that is done by everybody and anybody under the sun, right from even our Prime Minister coming and talking on Mann Ki Baat about digital arrest, still I get so many calls of digital arrest also. And it has nothing to do with education, skill people. I have got even security experts. I'm being very frank with you. Cyber security experts, I've had people who have been very prominent in the positions. I've had people who are in media. I've had people who have been in corporate job for so long. I've had people every strata. So it has nothing to do with educated, non-educated, male, female, age group, everything. Everything is being surpassed by these criminals when they do these things. And all that is being done is because of all these things. Why I'm talking? Now that we are talking about data, I'm not flowing with the PPT. You already have a PPT with yourself. Pardon me for not flowing with it, but because I'm talking about digital, okay, let me take that later on. So the social engineering is very smart. The same happens with his also. Let's say we have Mohanji over here. Mohanji, I am your principal. And your principal sends you a message on an email. And you get an email from your own principal. Will you act upon it? है ना? पर जल्दी में तो नहीं देखा कि खुशबू में BOO नहीं BU होता है या BU नहीं है BOO की जगह पे B00 लगा दिए हैं. बट किसी ने भेजा है, सेम लोगो यूज किया है, उनका साइन ऑफ यूज किया है, जैसे वो लिखते हैं रिगार्ड्स के नीचे. रिगार्ड्स उनका पैटर्न है लिखने का. उन्होंने कुछ आपको भेजा है, एक डॉक्यूमेंट उन्होंने बोला है सर्कुलेट दिस डॉक्यूमेंट टू ऑल द टीचर्स. सारे टीचर्स को पूछा, बट वो जो PDF है उसके अंदर फिशिंग लिंक है, मालवेयर अटैच्ड है. वो मालवेयर सबकी जगह पे पहुंच गया. बहुत बार इजीली पता भी नहीं चलता है और वो जो सारे 20 फोन्स या लैपटॉप्स है वो सब कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है एंड दे आर गेटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम इट। तो बहुत बार ये होता है ना कि हमने तो ओटीपी शेयर ही नहीं किया, हमने तो इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर ही नहीं किया, हाउ डू दे गेट इट? बिकॉज दैट मालवेयर इज सिटिंग इन योर सिस्टम्स। सो इट्स वेरी इजी इफ दे हैव लिटिल इन्फॉर्मेशन टू गेट इन। अभी यही ईमेल कोई रैंडम किसी खुशबू जैन से आता है जो आपके बिना प्रिंसिपल है ना कुछ है, तो आप क्यों खोलोगे उस ईमेल को और आप क्यों उस चीज को फॉरवर्ड करोगे किसी को? But because it has come from this business email compromise can even happen to an extent that you get a mail that यहाँ पे ये पेमेंट करना है। लेट्स से आप अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का अकाउंट संभालते हैं या आपके ऊपर अप्रूवल होता है जहाँ आप अकाउंट्स को फॉरवर्ड करते हैं, तो आपके ईमेल से अकाउंट्स को चला जाए कि ये जो है इनको ऐड करके इनका जो बैंक अकाउंट है वो चेंज हो गया है, तो हमारे जो ये 2 लोग हैं इनके बैंक अकाउंट चेंज हो गए हैं, उनकी रिक्वेस्ट आई है तो इनके बैंक अकाउंट चेंज करते हैं। तो प्रैक्टिकली वंदना जी और राजशेखर जी का बैंक अकाउंट चेंज हो गया, बट इन दोनों को पता ही नहीं है और वो पैसे भी चले गए। बट जब इनकी सैलरी आनी थी तो इनको सैलरी नहीं मिली, इन्होंने जाके बोला सर मुझे सैलरी नहीं मिली है, तो उन्होंने बोला आप ही ने रिक्वेस्ट किया था, मेरे पास तो ईमेल है बकायदा कि आपने अपने रिक्वेस्ट मारी थी कि मुझे अपना बैंक अकाउंट चेंज करना है, मेरे को सैलरी इस अकाउंट में चाहिए। बट वहां पे आता है कि ना आपने भेजा है ना इन्होंने भेजा है, बट किसी रैंडम इंसान ने ये भेजकर सैलरी वहां पे उस अकाउंट में ले ली है और फिर उसका इसका भी इस्तेमाल करते हैं कि ये जो सैलरी जिस अकाउंट में गई है उसको पकड़ लें। बट वो पता चलता है कि किसी राम और सीता की अकाउंट है, वो राम सीता के पास पहुंचे तो उन्होंने बोला हमने तो कभी ये बैंक अकाउंट खोला नहीं या हमने तो किसी की हेल्प पे गया था, फिर वो राम सीता के अकाउंट से गया है किसी और के पास में, वहां पहुंचे तो वहां से कहीं और गया, ऐसे करके 7 लेयर तक पैसा घूमते घूमते इतना हो जाता है कि जो आपका जो पुलिस वाला है बोलता है अभी रहने दो, बहुत सारे जुरिस्डिक्शन इन्वॉल्व हो गए, यहाँ पर खत्म हो जाता है। तो ये क्रिमिनल्स बड़े स्मार्ट है, इन्होंने बहुत मस्त ऐसा चंगुल बना के रखा हुआ है। दैट्स व्हाई इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम इनके कर्व से थोड़ा सा आगे रहे ताकि बचाव में रहे, क्योंकि बचाव के बाद वाली जो चीज आती है वो है, पर वो इतनी आई वुड सिक्योर कि आप प्रिएम्प्टिव में ज्यादा रहे रेदर देन पोस्ट। तो बी अवेयर अबाउट न्यू एज क्राइम्स। आई वुड सजेस्ट अगेन दैट आप जस्ट बिकॉज आपने आज एक सेशन अटेंड कर लिया है, दैट डजंट गिव यू एन लीवे। जस्ट बिकॉज एम आई ऑडिबल नाउ? हाँ, तो जस्ट बिकॉज आपने आज एक सेशन लेके आपने थोड़े से क्राइम्स के बारे में पढ़ लिया है, दैट डजंट मीन कि आप इस पे ही रहे। यू विल हैव टू कंटिन्यू टू अपडेट योर सेल्फ कि कौन से नए क्राइम्स आ रहे हैं, ताकि आपको जब कोई कॉल करे कि सर आपका पार्सल जो है उसमें कुछ अनआपत्तिजनक चीजें पाई गई है, या आपको अगर कोई कॉल करे कि सर आपके बैंक अकाउंट का अपग्रेड हो चुका है, या फिर आपको कोई कॉल आए कि आप डिजिटली अरेस्टेड है, तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि डिजिटल अरेस्ट नामक कोई चीज ही नहीं है लॉ में। कोई भी इंसान आपको डिजिटली अरेस्ट कर ही नहीं सकता है। तो ये जो नए एज के क्राइम है, ये नए रोज नए स्कीम्स लेकर आते रहते हैं और तरीके लेकर आते रहते हैं। तो इसको पता करने के लिए आप सेव करें एक वेबसाइट जो होता है साइबर दोस्त। साइबर दोस्त जो है वो फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स का हैंडल है, साइबर दोस्त। वो आपको बहुत बार बताता रहता है कि किस टाइप के नए क्राइम आ रहे हैं और उससे आप कैसे सेफ रहे। इलेक्ट्रिसिटी स्कैम आ रहा है कि आपकी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कल कट जाएगी, तो वो आपको बकायदा आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का नंबर बताते हैं और फिर वो आपको बोलते हैं कि ये आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का नंबर है, ये कट जाएगा बिजली का बिल क्योंकि ये अपग्रेड हो गया, आपने मीटर अपग्रेड नहीं किया है और आपके पास में इस तरीके का मीटर लगा हुआ है। आप घबरा जाते हैं कि भाई कल लाइट चली जाएगी तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, मेरी तो ऑनलाइन कॉल भी है, मेरी तो 2 मीटिंग्स भी है, मैं उसमें रह ही नहीं पाऊंगा, कैसे चलेगा। फिर आपको लगता है कि ठीक है इसको पे करके खत्म करें, अभी तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। बिकॉज हम जिस दुनिया में रह रहे हैं हमको लगता है समय ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज समय के इससे हम बहुत डिपेंडेंट हो चुके हैं, तो उसमें वो हो जाता है। तो मैं सिर्फ ये कह रही हूँ कि आप अपने आप को अवेयर रखने के लिए आप सेशंस अटेंड करें, आप सब कुछ करें, बट एट द सेम टाइम आप अपने आप को अवेयर रखें हर रोज की क्या नए टाइप का सोशल इंजीनियरिंग स्कैम आ रहा है, किस चीज में हो रहा है। 10 मिनट लगता है ये करने में, जस्ट टू चेक कि क्या हो रहा है इस फील्ड के अंदर। देन कम्स हरासमेंट और एक्सप्लॉयटेशन वाला एस्पेक्ट। सेम साइबर क्राइम में अगर मैं बोलूं तो साइबर बुलिंग, डॉक्सिंग जो हाँ जी,
just a minute. Please continue talking in English only because our people are from English states only, so they
Okay,
might
I'm
find
so
it difficult
sorry.
to understand Hindi.
no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so online harassment and exploitation. So this is something very common, especially when you talk about teachers and also when you talk about students. Very rampant over there. Not that just for them, everybody else, but these are the prime targets. Cyberbullying बहुत होती है। It has been said कि 10 में से 6 बच्चे साइबर बुलिंग के शिकार है, और ये नंबर तो रिपोर्टेड वाला है। तो जहां तक अगर मेरा मन करे तो मैं बोलूंगी 10 में से 9 बच्चे साइबर बुलिंग के शिकार है। तो कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि जब हमें पता, व्हेन वी नो, sorry again in Hindi, I'm really sorry, I'm so sorry. So we know that cyberbullying is one of the very prominent kind of form of crime that has been happening, which has been affected to children. And it has been said that 6 out of 10 students have been victim of cyberbullying in one or the other form in their life. And this is something which is a reported number. So if I have to put it in an opinion, it is at least 9 out of 10 have been victim of some form of cybercrime or cyberbullying in their lifetime when it comes to children. And now the teachers are also not left behind. You have every child who also wants to post some pictures. The way old school used to happen, that they want to attack their teachers, they want to talk about their teachers, offline, in the recess, in the corridors. Now that entire offline communication has taken a form of digital format. There are pages which are being made of teachers, of principals, where they talk about those teachers and principals and write what not. They use technology like AI for creating some form of deep fake or some pictures or something which can have a large impact, because at last you as a teacher or you as a faculty also have to be very strong to not get affected by something like this. It can have an element of 10% truth and 90% of an exaggeration. It can be 100% exaggeration, but it becomes very embarrassing to face when something like that happens. It can be even 100% of a truth, but not the truth that should come out in front of your students or your faculty or your colleagues. It's a private life of yours. In all these scenarios, there is an impact that is happening both to children and to students. And with that, I think it is very important that you understand what do you mean by cyberbullying, number one, what you should do. What do you mean by stalking? Stalking is something that somebody coming and following you everywhere. You're so scared. That's wrong, right? There can be an online form of stalking. There can be sending some kind of pictures or image which are too imaginary or which are too intimate. Or it can be of somebody else which can have an impact on your mental health or you. It has nothing to do with the other person. It is you and the person who's receiving it. Then it can be a CSAM material, which is a child exploitative material that has been put across. It can be half truth, full truth. It can be absolutely created one. There are so many apps that are coming nowadays, which practically can create with one picture. I can create a whole video. It can be a nude video. It can be a strip video. With 7 seconds of your voice, I can create a whole of your voice, which is almost 80 to 90% precision of your voice. So much important for you to be aware. If tomorrow, let's say, a communication between two teachers, which can be not the right communication or not in a right form, is being put across and rotating in the WhatsApp groups of the children and the teachers, it can instantly create an uproar. So all I'm trying to say is, very important for you to know the technologies that are coming in, the tools that are coming in, and how it can be utilized and how it can be misutilized. So that if something like that goes up, you understand the repercussions, you understand that this can be a doctored or a synthetic video or an audio or a picture, and how do you tackle that situation. Because if you don't know this, you will be in a mental state that you will not be able to handle it as prudent as it is important for you to handle. So very important for you to understand what it is, how to deal with it. And it is, when you talk about all these areas, the other area which is very important, which will be, is also the aspect of how do you deal with this in a mental way. There are situations where this cannot be just dealt in a very sane manner. There can be a very psychological impact. So do you involve any therapist? Do you involve any third party into it to deal with it, to understand? I think that's the decision that you have to take, but you have to be very aware and hands-on as a faculty who is handling teachers and at the same time handling students, and at the same time you yourself if something like that happens. Now, okay, identity and financial theft is another form after if I speak about cyberbullying. What do you mean by identity and financial theft? Financial theft is when somebody steals your card information, steals your name. Somebody can steal and make your own identity. I can practically address myself or have a digital identity of Vandana ji stolen and utilize that identity for some form of the thing. It can be for financial gain, it can be for any other gain, it can be for even, let's say, in the games, I am stealing the identity and something that is happening. UK, I'll give you an incident, was the first country to register an FIR, where FIR was of the rape. The rape was done online in a game. The main contours of the rape is that somebody has to be physically there with you to have that. But they said that you're so involved now in the digital world and your online personality is so in it that she felt the same form of damage or an impact to her mind that UK police is the first in the country, in the world, first country to register a rape which happened in a digital world. So I'm talking about that digital identity. Very important that you understand your identity and financial theft and how it happens and what happens. SIM swap attacks have been very common. OTP interceptions are very common. I can go in detail about all these things, but I think I will be running out of time to complete your entire thing. If you want me to go deep dive into each kind of crimes that happens and how it happens and some use cases about it, I will go in the last. Then loan applications or subscription frauds that happen, digital loan lending schemes that were coming up, trading scams that happen. That you invest this much money and then you get this much return, and you practically do get returns. Let's say you have invested some 10,000 rupees, you get 14,000. Then you invest another 14 or 15,000 rupees, you get 40,000 as a return. Then you invest another, and because you have invested, you share this in a lunchtime to your colleagues. 10 of your colleagues have also invested. So now in the same platform, all of you, 10 people have invested approximately 1 crore of rupees as a consortium, or let's say 50 lakh rupees of a consortium. Everybody is getting good returns. Fifth time is where the app disappears. So practically the 14,000 that you got is the one which the other person must have invested. So it practically was a good scheme, MLM scheme, that they kept taking the money, kept giving you hefty returns, which was not a return of an investment, but return of the money they were trying to get from other people and bait you, and then just disappear with the entire money of yours. Again, very important for you to understand how it works, what not to do. Just because somebody has got the return or you yourself has got a return, do you trust? No. Any of the trading company in the India has to be registered with SEBI. When you're dealing with money, at least go and check whether they're registered with SEBI. All you have to do is be little aware in the world of internet. Without that, you cannot navigate this space. I think online abuse is something I don't have to deal with. It can be continued, but what kind of response you should give? One, how do you sensitize people in your organization? Kids have to have a different kind of sensitization. Your department or your institute, the faculty and everybody else has to have a different kind of understanding about it. You need to have a process set that what documents have to be part of it. Like for example, so whatever has happened, screenshots of that, URL of that, PDF of versions of that, or original phone and things can be kept across. Then also, where do you report? How do you report? 1930 cybercrime.gov.in. Whether it has to be reported by you, if the person can have a lot of impact, it can be done anonymized. So if you go on cybercrime.gov.in, it can be anonymized complaint that you can register in scenarios like this. The new laws which have come up, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and Bharatiya Achar Sanhita and others, they also, the evidence part of it, they also say that if there are crime against women or women child, you can have online registration and you can have recording of the statements that can be done online. And you can have even evidence that can be put across cross statements and cross examination that can be done online. So all these things, I think you have to be very much aware. And how do you do it? You need to have that protocol in place in your organization. And whether or not it has to be escalated to police or to parents, how it has to be escalated, exploitation has occurred. Is it among the children or is it some outsider? Because if it's an outsider, high likelihood they would be impacted by not just 1, 2, but more students in the same organization, and how it has happened. So I think that's where something one has to learn. One cannot escape. How much you want to take up as a liability for yourself is something an organization can decide. I'm not entering into that. But you have a majority part with the children. And with that, I think some level of awareness and some level of understanding with those kids and making them understand and navigate is something very important and crucial. Then again, as I'm saying, you need to have age appropriate guidance on responsible use of technology, responsible use of social media, whether they can or cannot, what they can, what they cannot, what information they can share, personal information they can share or cannot. Just because, the one prominent question that comes from the students every time would be that I have shared my picture with this person. Now that person is using that picture. He has every right to do that. Or he has clicked that picture or she has clicked that picture. It's in his phone or her phone. So he has a right over that picture. In reality, no. You have a right on your own picture, irrespective it is clicked by whom. But how it can be utilized, misutilized, like, how impact it is something one can always use it. So that little bit of guidance and age appropriate specific guidance and understanding. You also have to have an understanding that what kind of new kind of games that are happening, which new apps these students are utilizing or communicating with. What kind of pages do they follow, which kind of YouTube channels do they follow and navigate and talk to each other and follow. Very important for you to know, because that can also have an impact and put it across. Again, I'm saying, how much of it as an obligation, as an institute you have to take it, or as a parent, teacher you have to take it, is something which is on you. But closing your eyes towards this will not help. So maybe you can guide that this is the app which is not healthy. This is not the language. This is not the thing that you should put across. But till the time you yourself are not aware about that these are the 20 apps which are viral, these are the 10 gaming platforms which are very in right now, and these changes very fast. So maybe learn a little with them, play a little with them to know. Once you play, you will understand what kind of things are happening. So many gaming platforms are in a manner where they say that you have passed the first stage. Second stage, click a picture of your mother and go ahead. Third stage, click a picture of your drawing room. Fourth stage, click a picture of one of the paintings in your drawing room. Now, utilizing this information, those criminals call you for extortion of your child, say that your child has been abducted and pay this much money. And then they say that the daffodil flower painting which is in your drawing room, using that information. So then you are so scared that, oh, somebody is watching me here. And then you're so scared, and then you end up paying it. And this is a real case I'm telling you that happened with a lady where she got so scared. And then later it was being realized that there was just some simple gaming app where he could just go, when he has won, reach to next level, he has to click a picture and post it. And it's so easy for them, and you will also feel like just a picture of a wall or just a picture of this, how will it happen? So once you also have to have a little bit of deep knowledge while you play with them or chit chat with them in a friendly manner, you will have a better understanding of what kind of information or what kind of language or what kind of game that is or app that is being utilized for what purpose. Again, I'm saying mental health concern, you need to have systems in place and what can be done, because the kind of content exposure children have can have a lot of time negative impact on themselves and how it has to be dealt. But that's again a decision one can take. Then comes the legal framework. Yes, we do have laws in place. We have IT Act 2000, which was updated in 2008. Then there were a lot of amendments that happened. I would not say it is one of the 100% laws in place, but it is being proposed by the ministry that we are coming up with Digital India Act, which will have an updated cyber crimes and which will have an aspect of 4 things in which DPDP Act has already come across. But they want to come up with a holistic act which deals with all kind of cyber crimes and the appropriate punishments and penalties that can be imposed on those crimes. And if it's a repetitive nature, what kind of penalties and punishments that can be imposed. So I'm still waiting for that law to come in place. But we do have IPC, which is your the new law. And with that new law, you can have combinations like, for example, bullying is a punishable offense, though the word is not defined, but bullying is combination of it is there. Impersonation is there. Identity theft is there. Putting of obscene picture is there. Putting obscene picture of children is there. Abusive content of children is there. Women modesty is there. Stalking is there. Phishing is there. Cyber attack is there. So combination of things are there in IT Act and in the criminal law, the penal law of ours. But again, I said that there has to be a holistic law, and I'm still waiting for that law to come in place. These are which are there in your IT Act. You can take a screenshot or this can be shared with you. which is unauthorized access to your computer system, is a punishable offense up to 3 years of an imprisonment. Stalking is 3 years. Ransomware attack is again severe penalties. Publishing explicit content is again up to 5 years of a penalty that can go on. But these are not enough to tackle. So we need to have an understanding where we define what do you mean by cyberbullying. We define what do you mean by sextortion. We define and what kind of punishment that can be there. So I think that's something which is coming up very soon. Now, what are your roles in terms of prevention? In terms of prevention, you need to have a safety curriculum in place. Design it. Again, it has to be age appropriate. The second that comes is you need to have a behavioral and privacy hygiene, making them aware what can be posted, what absolutely cannot be posted. How close you are with your friends, what can be shared with them, cannot be shared with them. Then you need to run an awareness session and you need to have simulations in place. Again, that has to be age appropriate, class appropriate, and you can have even mock drills, or maybe some kind of plays that can be created small, or you can have a competition year and that okay, one crime one has to put across, this happens, because when they themselves come up, they read, they will utilize technology, AI, and they will create those things and they will say these are the do's and don'ts. What happens in this? What happens in that? Am I audible? Yeah. So maybe ask them to create 5 types of different cybercrime that they can use it, which can attack children, and what happens, how it happens, and what are the preventive steps. So ask them to create maybe a 10-minute of a role play or a presentation or any form of it. So then they themselves research, they know what to do, where to report. If it is social media, is there a way one can report it on social media? If it can be cybercrime.gov.in, how to report it, where to report it, the entire mechanisms. And when they themselves also teach, it's a very nice thing to do. So maybe you can have that as a group activity or an activity that can be done as an annual day thing, and so on and so forth. Again, trusted support channels are there. You can provide them that. That is again option how you want to go about it. But you can have those trusted support channels that this happens, this is how you should do. Or you can have a desk in your organization that this is a place they can come and they can have a discussion. But again, internal discussions with your organizations, whether you can or cannot. Now, counselor's role, again, if you have counselor in place, there are psychological impact that can happen and it can harm more than anything else. A lot of times children don't say, they go away, they stay silent, they don't share it with anybody else. They get into depression, and that depression is also not visible because, when that age group you are growing, it feels key because of age that growing is the person has become silent. He's transforming to be a quiet person and this. But a lot of times it is not because of that. It can be trauma related. It can be depression related. It has something impacted him. But because that change is happening. Today, if a change happens in my nature or your nature, Mohanji or Kritika ji, one can understand that something is impacted. But a child, while that growing part of it, you will feel the person is growing, or it can be because of that age. The growth happening is that the impact is coming, but you have to be very, very, very well equipped. You need to have that channel where they can freely speak to you. For that, they need to have that comfort, either with their parents and either with their teachers. It is very important. And also to make them aware that if you see a little bit of that change or some information, which you get it from your friend, very important for you to share. It's not breaking of a trust, but it is to make sure that the person is being given justice. You can even have an aspect of anonymization that the institute or I, as your teacher, will have an absolute anonymization policy into it so that they feel secure and safe to share that information with you. Again, I'm saying that very important right now because you are practically dealing with them every day, as close as their parents, and sometimes maybe more because they trust and they rely or look upon you more than their parents at times. Or they can navigate with you more than they can navigate with your own children, their own parents. And I think the same conversation can be part of your PTM as well, where you educate their parents that how they should react into it. It cannot be that something has happened, so they say, "Oh, you will not be given the phone because you have shared this. This has happened." That shuts them out. And that travels because of that one children will tell 20 of its friends that I am not being given phone because I shared this with my parents, that I have shared this picture and this has happened. And then they all 20 will think this is how it will happen. I will not share this information with my parent. It has to be dealt in a separate manner. So, how you should act, how you should tell your parents, there has to be do's and don'ts and an entire navigation policy for yourself, for parents, and for children, for their peers. When law is saying that you can have an anonymized complaint, why can't you have a system in place where it can be absolute anonymization? A desk where every Friday somebody can talk about it, or you can take one half an hour session, once in a month, depending on how the scenario is, and go about it. Teach them the reporting mechanism itself, because a lot of times if they don't want to share it with you, you can always say these are the absolute no's on the internet, and if something has done this, these are your rights. This is how you can complain. They are very equipped. I get called from people who are 12-year-old kids, and they tell me that, Didi, I have to file a complaint on cybercrime.gov.in. Somebody has shared a picture of something which they should not share with me. How do I do it? How do I go anonymized? And I really teach them, and they're 12-year-old. The generation of yours, the generation of our generation and their generation, there is it says it's a generation gap. No. It's a 10 generation gap now with technology coming in place. So you have to teach and tackle, and you have to equip yourself and upgrade yourself to their level. And you will not be able to do it, but at least come near them. Again, you need to have security governance. This is now not to do with the direct cybercrime, but also the cybercrime which can happen in your organizations where breach can happen. There have been a lot of educational institutes where the data has been breached. So you have a lot of information of health, of their parents, of salary, of addresses, of phone numbers. That information criminals love a lot, because that will give them a lot of leeway and understanding who travels where, what happens, and also now that you use technology, you have got CCTV cameras, you have got bus also which are equipped with cameras, so that they can track their children. If those things have been attacked, and one can always observe, it is very difficult in the age of AI that information keeps going. So you have to have security in place, and you need to have a security governance in your organization. You cannot just think of, let's just buy these two equipments and put it across because CCTV is required or access to the parents are required. You need to see through the governance. You need to see through, not the governance. You need to see through the security of it. What security level are there, who can access, who cannot access. Is there a way it can be put up, somebody can infiltrate into it? Is there a way that somebody in your organization can also take it, who's having an access to handle it? There cannot be a way that the guy or the girl who's tasked in your organization to handle that, who's sitting behind the bar, he should also not have an access beyond that place. Whether he can use it on his own phone and track it, no, it cannot be in that manner. So, and also to teach every other parent that if we are giving you an access to this, what you can do and don't about it. Can they record that? There are other students into it. Can they utilize it? Let's say two students fighting, and they say that my child is being beaten by the other person, and they post it. You're practically posting it about other child and the mental trauma that child will go through. So when you use and equip people, use technology, you need to understand what kind of negatives impact it can have, and how do you cater to it. Because if you do it post, it's already, you have lost that time and you have understanding, and when later you introduce, it becomes a lot of problem. Okay, reporting pathways, as I said, you can have, I'll go to the next page, which will give you, this one. So complaint, as I said, note down this or take a screenshot of it. Cybercrime.gov.in is the place where you can go and file a complaint. Very easy. You can go anonymized way, that your details are not being shared. But what do you do with this? 1930 is the number you can call. Again, it's a government Ministry of Home Affairs related number, NCCPR. Any kind of financial crime that has resulted, any kind of online crime, cybercrime, which has resulted into loss of money. 1930 is the number you should call up. Keep ready 3 things. 1, how much money you have transferred, from which account number to which account number, from which UPI to which UPI, from which bank account to which UPI, and what date. Keep this ready. Give a call at 1930 and register it. Now, which I was talking to you about, the mule accounts. Those mule accounts are the one where these 1930 practically can track 7 layers. Like one has transferred from that Ram to Sita to Mohan to Ali, They can layer that whole traveling of your money and can block your money up to 7 layers. Again, time is a very important element when it comes to cybercrime. Report as fast as possible. Call at 1930 as soon as possible. Still, if you're in connection with those criminals, continue those discussions with them. But at the same time, call and complain so that your money can be still traced and blocked, and you can get that money back in your account by filing one complaint, one application in a nearest court for releasing of your funds from that bank account. With this, preliminary inquiry will happen. They will call you for evidence and what kind of things have done. If you can go to nearest police station as well. You can even do one more thing. As an institute, you can have your own police station number and their email registered with you, so that apart from cybercrime.gov.in, you can actually give a call to that registered number rather than going on Google and searching that number. Who do we do? What do we have to do? In your own systems, you can have that your institute, this is the jurisdiction. Your house, this is the police station that comes in your jurisdiction. Get those numbers saved right now. Now, keep those digital evidences because you are at the first hand. So have all those screenshots, URL, PDFs, downloads, original. Don't delete the original. Keep them. Sensitize your students as well that keep this. Don't delete it. Even if I have shared, let's say I have indulged in chatting with somebody, but it turned out to be something wrong. You're very scared that that earlier chat will also be visible. You can go for anonymization and you can be okay about it. Again, at the same time, if you're dealing, don't judge them on that you were so this and you started this conversation, that's why it has late. Maybe have that as a learning and include that in your next session to make them aware that these are the do's and don'ts. Don't do these things. So don't judge them on how they talk and what they have done or what they've shared, rather so that they can have a complete evidence being given to you or shared. Or you can also do the same. Charge sheet can be filed after that, technical analysis, and then charge sheet will be filed after the FIR. Now, what to include, as I already said, incident. And when you go to cybercrime.gov.in or when you file a complaint in the nearest police station, you need to give a summary and the timeline. Like, for example, on 14th of November, somebody contacted me via WhatsApp. Then they did this, then this happened, then this happened, and this happened. And all that for that, whatever story you're narrating in that 2 paragraph, what are the corroborating evidence? Somebody contacted you on this date, screenshot of it. Or this happened and this. And somebody shared me a link that yahan pe payment kar do, this is the number. You have transferred the money, bank account statement or whatever the statement that you can put. So whatever you have it, you're saying if you have any paperwork, produce that along with it. 2 paragraphs, I think your complaint should be enough. Nobody wants to know your life story. Nobody wants to know your feelings. You can write that separately and keep it. But when it comes to complaint, two paragraphs or maximum 3 paragraphs, your entire story can be narrated and it should be done. Preserve original. I'm again saying you need to preserve it because primary evidence is very important in terms of cybercrime. Don't throw away, don't delete, don't think, oh, I'll be judged about it or something happens. Just screenshots are not the primary evidence. These are just the screenshots. One can create those screenshots. Screenshot is just for you to get going. After that, it has to have a deep investigation, and an investigation, they cannot just rely on the screenshots. So keep those devices, keep those systems, keep all those things in place. Don't delete. This is what I've already been speaking. You can see it on the screen. Take screenshot, export chat, save files. Do not delete or modify any of those things. Okay. Now comes technical mein header footer, very important in the email because that's the whole address. When you click, it becomes like a 3-line. Save that as well because that's the address. Any kind of crash reports, or if you have wallet address or transaction hashes or IP address, or you have got anything, just save it. Save it in a manner that it cannot be lost or it cannot be degraded because these things can at times take a lot of time. So have it in a manner that it is preserved. Now, after you have reported, you have a whole monitoring that you should do and, continue about it and what is there, what is not there, and go on with it. I'm not going ahead with the threat cycle. Okay. Now we were talking about information. And when you talk so much that we share information, this happens, that happens. I cannot stop not talking about the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Are you aware about this act? Perfect. This came in the year 2023. The first time it was spoken about DPDP was right to privacy. 2017, Supreme Court realized that one cannot have a right to life or a dignified life without having privacy as a part of it. So Article 21 of the Constitution, which is your right to life, that scope was enlarged and right to privacy became part of right to life, Article 21 of the Constitution, via K. Puttaswamy versus Union of India. Now, what does it say? It says, ki boss, I need to have a digital privacy in place. The way somebody cannot come in my office, somebody cannot come in my classroom and just randomly sit. Somebody cannot come in my house today that, oh, I want to chill here or maybe, watch a TV here. It becomes a trespassing. I don't want somebody, or somebody cannot come and just think, oh, amazing laptop, can I just take it? Or somebody cannot just say that, oh, I want to come and, do this and maybe utilize it for my purpose. If somebody cannot do that in the physical world, somebody practically cannot do that in the internet world. And that's where they said, oh, right to privacy is very important in the digital world as well. And it became a fundamental right from 2017. But with that 2017, we realized, what do you mean by right to privacy? So same Supreme Court judgment said that let there be a committee of Justice Sri Krishna, which will put across the contours of right to privacy. Because if I say that today, Aparna ji, that I have a right to privacy and I come in your institute today and I say, I will not share the relationship with this child of mine because I have a right to privacy. I will not disclose the name of my child. I want this child to be called as Rahul. I will not give you the KYC. Will that be okay? No, right? Or can I go to a hotel and say that, oh, boss, I don't want to share my identity card because I don't want to check in as Khushbu Jain. I want to check in as Rahul. And I've got a right to privacy. Or can I go to a flight and I can say I have a right to privacy? How can you have my details? Can I do that? Or can I say Uber that, boss, I'm standing at this road, come and pick me outside Supreme Court gate number D. But I will not share my location with you because I've got right to privacy. Uber will be like, that's my application, right? That's how I feature it. Or can I say that, everywhere, how do I do about it? Can I say that, oh, I want Siri, I want that device, the phone device, but I will not put across anything. So then it is very important to know when you say right to privacy, what do you mean by right to privacy? And for companies which are data fiduciaries, what do you mean by their obligations when it comes to privacy? Otherwise, tomorrow, every third person I will create a kiosk. I have got right to privacy. It's my fundamental right. Nobody can take away my fundamental right. Anybody infringes upon my fundamental right, I can practically go and file a case in High Court or a Supreme Court as a writ or a petition that my fundamental rights have been infringed upon.
Sorry,
how do you have a CCTV? Yeah.
10 minutes remaining to your session, ma'am.
Okay, let me see how many slides I have. I think I have just a right to privacy only. So I will finish off right to. Oh, you have questionnaires also, right?
Participants are asking questions. Before all the no's, there are two good questions.
Okay. So I will finish off your right to privacy in 2 minutes. Okay. So right to became, what do you mean by privacy? So that's where DPDP Act, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, came in existence in 2023. It says nothing. It says that, boss, if it's your data, you should be the one who should ask B permission. So now companies have to take your consent before taking your data. If you can say that I don't want to give a consent, they cannot take it. But if you're using that services, you have to provide. Like, for example, if Uber says, I need your location while you want to call an Uber, you have to give them, right? But if they say that I need an access to your camera and a phone book, I can deny that permission. And they cannot not give me access to their applications. I can even say that if I'm visiting I'm searching some flights for Udaipur, I don't mind an options for hotels as well. I can give them that, okay, give me. But tomorrow, if I don't want to, I can recall my consent. Then let's say a lot of my data is available. What I was in the year 2017 and what I am today is very different, right? I want to exercise my right to erasure. What do you mean by that? I want to delete my data which is available with you. So I can request for my right to erasure. then I have a grievance redressal. Now, non-option of these things provided by any of the companies is something which is up to 50 crore of a penalty that can be imposed on you, irrespective of you are a small company, big company, medium-sized company. Up to 50 crore of a penalty for each non-compliance. Not giving me an option to consent, 50 crore of a penalty. Not giving an option of this, 50 crore of a penalty. Now you're taking my data, keep it secure. If you don't keep it secure and it has been breached, up to 250 crore of a penalty that can be imposed. Why this is done? This is done precisely for the part that the sensibility and the security which should be in the world of internet is there, so that these criminals don't get your data. But just because I've trusted one company, that company could not keep my data safe, is where that criminal is having access to my data. Plus, I don't even know who's taking my data. So to bring in all that systems in place is where this act has come in place. That's about it. Ask questions. You've got 18 months to comply with this. Yeah, I forgot to say that. From November, 18 months for companies to have these systems in place. 18th month and the day one is where if you don't have these things in place, and it is applicable to all educational institutes as well. You need to take a consent. You need to take a verifiable consent of their parents. You need to go ahead with all these things which I'm telling you. If you don't comply with it, you're looking at penalties on 18th month and 1 day. Now ask me questions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Is there any other questions? Ma'am, if you're finished, can I request you to stop the sharing, please? So that I can check if somebody is there raising hands. Yeah. If anybody has questions, if anyone would like to ask a question, can I request you to raise your hands? Okay. Yes. Premlata, ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, ma'am. I have a question. The thing is that suppose a child has been victimized. My question is, to whom should it be reported first? Should it go to the school's counselor or to the class teacher, or should it to the principal? What should be the navigation protocol ideally be?
Okay, perfect. This is something which I was saying, that you need to have a governance in your own organization. When I say that, that means you need to have systems in place, that who is the one who should be the primary responsibility, where it should be reported, what that person has to do. So that entire RASKI metrics has to be there in your organization. Who do you engage? Who is the one who's been given that extra responsibility in your organization is the one who should be reported first. From there, how it should be escalated. Who should be the person who should be contacting the police in case if it is required? What decision has to be taken? Should there be a 3-member committee to take the decision whether this has to go to the police or not has to go to the police? Whether this has to go to the parents, what information has to go to the parents? Both the parents, if there are 2 children involved in the one thing, the crime where both the parties, the victim and the perpetrator, both are the kids, where they don't understand that they have committed a crime. But there are times when it's not the victim are your kids and the things are from outside. How do you have to do it? And what is the level when you have to involve parents, and what kind of information should put across so that the liability completely doesn't go on you? And at the same time, which 3-member committee, I'm again saying you need to have one key person who should be the responsible person where something happens. Every teacher, every person who at the time they get an awareness about it or have a knowledge about it, without any delay should inform that person. And that person is the one who has to put that in a report in a format that you need. What happened, where, which student, how it has happened. You know, that one file has to be maintained, and that has to be shared with the committee to take a call that, oh, what has to be done, what not has to be done, who do we have to involve or not involve. Very important this, you should do this as early as tomorrow morning. That start organizing that. It is very, very important now to have that in place. And the same committee can be tasked tomorrow to create a do's and don'ts depending on the level, like 5th to 6th can be one level, 6th to 8th can be one level. The children which are from 9th standard to 11th and 12th standard are very different. What are the do's and don'ts? Then be on social media, you can always say these things. Same thing, you can put it across to parents that they can be signing those documents. bring them that liability. Till the time they don't have it, they'll try to push it on the school. That mera bacha, my kid was in your school and another school fellow has done this. This is your responsibility. You will be tired fighting with this system tomorrow. So you need to have that in place and make sure that you make them aware and they also sign about it so that they are also as involved with their children as you are.
Ma'am, the next question is from Suchitra ji. Suchitra ji, can you unmute?
Good afternoon, ma'am. So what
Good
you
afternoon.
mentioned about, so same thing with the fraud has happened with in our family member, one of this.
Ma'am, I request you put only the questions because we need to restrict ourselves.
Yeah, I already put in the typed in a message, ma'am, here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Vishal ji.
Yes, madam. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, I have one question, madam. Suppose your boss is absent for 2 or 3 days from the office due to his personal affair, and after coming back to the office, he put the signature. And someone takes the photograph of the attendance register before and after. That person is committing any cyber crime.
Yeah, because you're getting an access to the information which you should not have. So that's a punishable offense under the IT Act, that you cannot have an access to the information which is a private information.
This act is only for justice only because someone did wrong. He misused the power, did not come to the office and putting the signature after coming to the office after 3 days.
I think that's a communication I can have separately with you.
Okay.
I'm absolutely available. You can put, if Angel ji, if you're comfortable, you can share my number. You can give me a WhatsApp query. Don't call, please. I might not answer. And it
Right
might
now,
feel
we are
bad.
not giving any resource person numbers to them directly.
Perfect. So
ma'am.
then I would suggest you can have all these queries. I will ask my office to respond all the queries, responses, and send
But
it
that
back
option we have given to all the all the participants, that whatever they have the queries, which is not directly addressed here, they should actually put up in the question box, which we will be sending it shortly, and for which we will give a return answer with it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Ravi ji.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am Ravi Mittal this side. My question is it legally acceptable to track the location of employees in an organization through third app? Is it legally acceptable or not?
No. So this is a very tricky question. Practically, when it comes to my right to privacy, no. But if I'm in the office time, let's say from 11 to 5 o'clock, I am in the office premise and I'm being given office devices. They can practically track my locations and my whereabouts because I am in the office premise. But beyond that, they cannot get it because it will be invasion of my privacy, which is a fundamental right.
Ma'am, in my office, through my mobile phone, they can track. Through my personal mobile phone.
No, they cannot. They cannot track. They cannot track. But you should not give them consent for it. There are a lot of times that in the employment, you give them a consent. And when you give a consent is where you have given the consent that, yes, I'm giving a consent to my location history. So please read those fine lines very carefully.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But without taking your consent, it's an invasion of privacy.
There is a
Yes, ma'am.
last question, which we will take it. Just a minute. Last question will be from Balaji ji from NCRT. Balaji, sir? We're not able to hear you, sir. Okay, we are not able to hear him. Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box which has been put up regarding that will be the last question. We will take it up for answering. When they complain in cyber crime portal, they have asked no action will be taken against the criminals. That's a wrong statement even after. So I just would like to close this because this is not a general question to really legally to answer. But the simple thing is in cyber crime portal, we are keep on putting complaints that's not answered. This is something every time when we tell that you need to complain in cyber crime portal, people ask us. In every session, they say that we complain, but there was no response. There are thousands on thousands of complaints that's coming in, and it is prioritized according to the severity, and it is taken care. And ma'am, you can actually address this from if there is a website which they are doing continuously fraud, and if they are not being responded, is there any legally they can take an action on it? If you can just respond to that.
Okay. So cybercrime.gov.in, I have not seen not been responded. They do respond, but at the same time, I'm saying go to your nearest police station. No police station can deny you today that you cannot file a complaint. Why I say cybercrime.gov.in? Because you have an option of having an evidence in place, because it's as good as 100 number that, that evidence is recorded. You get a copy, you get the number of it, that this is your complaint and this has been acted upon. But nonetheless, you can always go to your nearest police station of your jurisdiction, file a complaint, get a stamp over it. You have a receiving copy. This is your number. That complaint can be converted into an FIR next, and you can proceed as good as, because even on cybercrime.gov.in, 80-90% of the complaints which can be taken is taken care, but others can be usually go to the nearest police station only, and then you get a call from that jurisdiction that we have received your complaint from this portal. Now, how do you want to go about it? So you can actually skip that step and actually go to the police station nearest. Another thing I would say, you have to do it is, though it became one of the very viral thing, don't go on the app if you're not comfortable, but you can go on a Sanchar Sathi portal on a website from any desktop. Now that Sanchar Sathi, which is from Department of Telecommunication, is a portal which has a lot of information. It has Chakshu, where you can see what is, who's, in your number, name, how many mobile numbers are registered. And you will be shocked to see there would be 3-4 which you have never done it. So you can go and block those numbers. Then you can block your own phone. Let's say your phone is lost. Somebody can misuse this phone, and IMEI number is the one which is your address, and police can land up. And I have got so many places where somebody has landed that you have done this crime and your number has been utilized and your phone has been utilized. So till the time that number is lost and you have not reissued the same, or you have not got your phone back, you can block your phone. And once you've got it on the same platform, you can unblock your phone. Okay? Now, the next that you can do over there is, you can go, you get a lot of SMS. This is all preventive steps. When you get SMS, Angel ji, I will share this one document with you in a PDF format. You can share this as a resource to all these people. It has a URL and dedicated numbers where they can do what. So you can you can put those headers of SMS. Let's say you get a message from your own institute that, this. To check whether this has actually come from your institute, to check whether it has come from your bank, to check it has come from RBI, to check it has come from, anywhere. You can practically put that header and it will tell you this is RBI or this is not RBI.
Thank you so much for this. Yeah,
I will share that document. It's very important for all of you to keep it. You can you can share this with your resource. You can entire people over here.
Thank you so much, Khushbu for giving wonderful information to all of them. I think this will help them to go forward. And I think this is kindled the interest for people to know. Usually, most of the people don't like to listen to legal sessions, but I think you have made it very interesting that people have started asking more and more questions. And we will share all the questions with you which comes from them, so that we will be able to get it. Thank you so much. Thanks for being part of it. I request the technical team to please put up the attendance in the chat box. Yeah, thank you so much. Can I request everyone to stop posting in the chat box, because we are putting the attendance link. So I request everyone to stop putting any message in the chat box. Khushbu, you can feel free to walk out of the room because we will be continuing with this. Thank you so much. Yeah. The post is done, attendance has been posted.